Yo, Hustle Nation. It's all about holistic health and wellness today on the Cortez Hustle Show. Super excited, man. Make sure y'all smash that share button. But do me a favor, as always, as you're coming into the room, go ahead, comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. Just don't share any links, but I do want to give you a free business shout out. Today, I've got a very special guest in the building. She's going to be talking about holistic health and fitness, Miss Lauren Wells. So y'all make sure that y'all be prepared to show her some love. Also, we're going to talk about how to skyrocket your success with a morning routine. Let me know in the comments, man, what is your morning routine? What's the first thing that you do when you open your eyes this morning? I'm going to talk about that. If you don't have a morning routine, then you might want to adopt yourself one, because it just makes life a whole lot easier and a whole lot simpler. So we're going to talk about that today. Got some announcements for you guys, but keep those comments coming. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. And we're going to go ahead and get this show rocking and rolling. So let's get right into it. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from financialhealthmentor.com. And we're on a mission to empower you economically through financial literacy with an emphasis on personal brand development and entrepreneurship. The Cortez Hustle Show is the podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And we like to bring to you guests who are doing it in their respective industries to not only share with you how they're doing what they're doing, but also to help share tips and strategies that help them become the successful entrepreneurs that they are. A couple quick announcements before we bring out our special guest. If you are looking for an opportunity to add a stream of income to your household, then you might want to connect with your boy. I am actually expanding my financial education franchise, where I literally teach people how to get paid for posting financial tips on social media, right? So inbox me or comment info below if you're interested in that. Also, my personal branding 101 project is almost complete, man. A lot of you guys have been asking me, Cortez, how have you built this brand over the years? And I'm revealing all of my top tips and secrets in a book and video course on personal branding 101 for solopreneurs. You guys definitely want to be on the lookout for that. In the next 72 hours, I believe, I'm going to be ready to push the launch button on that thing. Also, Hustle in Love is gearing up for our first season. It's a podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs, couples who are working together in business, making the business work together as a couple, making the marriage work, or the relationship, making the family work. How does all of that happen? There's a lot of go-getters who are paired up in the last few years, and they're doing some amazing work in their business, in their communities. And that term power couple has really become a thing, especially since Jay-Z and Beyonce hooked up, right? And now everybody is trying to figure out that power couple dynamic. And I want to bring real couples who are doing real major things to you guys and show you how they are getting it done. It's going to be hosted by myself and my beautiful wife, Lee Love. And we're going to be sharing tips and strategies on how we get it done as a couple. But also we're looking to interview other couples who are getting it done. So if you know power couples that are doing amazing things in their business together, they have a solid relationship, they're doing big things in the community, then we want to hear from them. Just share this video with them, tag them in this video, or just inbox me their name and their contact information, and my team will reach out to them. Also, we got Lauren Wells about to come on. And then after our interview with Lauren Wells, we're going to be talking about the power of a morning routine and how it can transform your life and skyrocket your success. So Lauren Wells, aka LC, is a holistic health and fitness coach, helping women adopt holistic and realistic lifestyle habits to get fit, lose belly fat, and eat more plant-based foods. She is great at simplifying the complexity in today's health and fitness world to help women feel mentally, physically, and spiritually confident by helping them to hone in on their gut health as the source of overall wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please give my good friend a warm welcome to Madam Lauren Wells. How are you doing this morning?
Hi, Cortez. I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Awesome. Well, let's just dive right in, man. Tell everybody who the heck is Lauren Wells.
Well, Lauren, also LC. I'm known in the industry. As spoken, I'm a health and fitness coach. I started in the industry as a fitness trainer as a whole, but I realized you can get people bigger butts, smaller waistlines, but it don't mean anything if you can't really get them healthy from the inside out. So that's been my personal journey that I learned within myself, and just me outside of all of that. I'm, fun, free-spirited person, loving. I have big compassion with a big mission and drive to just help people as a whole on all avenues. And I know, what I'm here to be. I'm a healer in all capacities. So, that's like me in a quick nutshell of who I am.
Awesome. And love that bubbly personality, man. And your warmness actually radiates, which is really, really good. So where did you get your start in this whole health and fitness thing? Were you an athlete as a kid and wanted to do that? How did this whole journey begin for you?
Well, that's a great question. And I think this is why I'm so relatable to people. And I've been a fitness trainer for about 8 years, and then really started getting into like nutrition and being a health coach for 7. But I wasn't an athlete or anything. I mean, as a kid, I might have ran track, but I never did anything. Like, I literally hate staying after school. I was not into sports. Like I said, growing up, I ran track and stuff because my brother like pushed me, but we're like 8 years apart. And once he went on, to the military and lived his life, that whole little dream of like, oh, I could be a track trainer star, like literally went downhill. And I didn't become active or anything. I started getting into fitness as a whole, honestly. I enlisted into the Navy because after college, graduating with honors and getting a job, I had like my culture shock in a sense in the corporate world that I was like, is this it? Like, I went to school and this is all I'm supposed to do, and I got these student loans. So I went to the military. I enlisted into the Navy, and I had to get active. So that was like a whole shock because I wasn't active since I was like in like elementary school. So as I started to have to get physically active and training and, all of that and going to the gym, it sparked something. People saw and started going to the gym with me. And I always knew the body. I studied nursing since high school. I was like working in pharmacy. I've always had familiarity about the body. So as far as adapting that capacity of anatomy to fitness, it wasn't far removed, if that makes sense. So as I had to start getting, fit and having the past even get into the Navy, I started to get fit. People started to see that around me, and people kind of naturally just started calling me their trainer. Long story short, I got kicked out of the Navy, and I had went back to corporate, and I was just still kind of like, this still isn't the life I want. And it took some years for me to realize, like, God sends signs to you way before you even realize what that is, as far as people calling me their trainer. She's my health coach. She's helping me, all those things. It finally took to a moment where a mentor told me, find something you love to do that you'll do for free and get paid for it. And for years, I was always like, hey, having people come to the gym with me, training them, and not even realizing that's what I was doing. And then finally I took the leap and was like, you know what? I'm going to get a certification. I'm going to go here in New York. We have a city college, and I went and did a program there. And that was a wrap from there, about 2013.
Love it, love it, love it. Listen, people, she said something very key there, and something that I champion as well. The key to your financial success rests in your ability to find one or two ways to get paid for one or two things that you already learned, you already love to do, and then build a system around it. That's all I've done. I found one or two ways, Lauren, to get paid for one or two things that I love to do. I love talking to people. I love this media thing, and built a system around it, man. And that's kind of what we do. And that's what you've done in the fitness space. But you said something interesting, or I read something interesting in your bio, and I see this as a consistent theme throughout everything that you're doing. You say that not only are you a holistic health and fitness coach, but you also bring a realistic approach to lifestyle. Talk about that, where that came from, and the importance of that, because there's a lot of crazy things that you can do to get yourself in shape and to feel better and all that kind of stuff. But is it realistic?
Exactly. Yeah, like most stuff, people kind of think of the extremes, and it's for temporary results, and it's not realistic. It's not lifelong, results, or something that people can adopt for a lifetime, in a sense. And I feel like anything, you're always learning and shifting, and your life change or whatever. But people see me today and think like, oh, she's so healthy. Like I wasn't an athlete. So I'm very relatable to my clients and my audience. I wasn't built in a gym. I don't even personally, as a trainer, love to work out. It's just a necessity, and it's realistic of what needs to happen. So I speak on like what is the best whole approach that will help you mentally, physically, and spiritually, and then realistically that you can be able to adopt for a long term. Like we're thinking long game instead of just, I want to, like, most people come to me, I want a smaller waistline and a bigger butt, right? And it's like, that's cool, we could do that, but what is the real approach? Like I'll have people say, I want to hire you, can I work out 5 days a week and give me this meal plan? And I'm just like, I could do all that, but you're going to stay in a box, and then once you're done or go on without me, you don't know what to do. And I love that I've been able to help clients even years after they work with me, they still use the same concepts that I use, because it's realistic, and it's giving you the whole holistic approach, eating foods from the ground as much as possible. Do you have to become vegan? No, but having that as a larger portion on your plate. I'm speaking a lot of the things that I personally have done to shift, as well as help my clients. And I've worked with different people, different strokes for different, what do they say? Different strokes for different folks, right? You know what I mean? Brain fart, you got me up early in the morning with this. So it's really important that I really meet the client where they are, and like, what can we start doing now that you can consistently do long term, and that it starts to become a habit, because you could do this crazy intense kind of workout, right? And it may be something that shifts for you at the moment, but what happens when life happens, or you get shifted off? My audience, people who know me and follow me, I've had a series of injuries. I'm just still recovering from one. Do my fitness stop because I can't walk? Last year I fell down the steps in the train and I couldn't walk. That didn't mean that my whole life was upside down. And I started to create that whole holistic and realistic approach, because as I started having clients work with me, fitness became so much of their lifestyle that they didn't know what to do outside of that. And fitness doesn't have to be in a gym, So that's why I really like to meet people where they are. If you don't like going to the gym, you don't like working out, that does not mean you can't have a holistic, realistic health and fitness lifestyle. Walk, go outside, dance with your kids. Like, there's so many avenues. And that's what I help to kind of paint that reality. And I have like a community group, a support group, to really shape that, because so many people, in the media, you see all this intensive stuff and you feel like you have to become that. And I'm here to tell people, no, you don't. Like, what is it that works for you? And don't try to compare like what you see the person, what you want to look like, because we're all different. So that's my whole approach of being holistic and realistic. Because if you go to the gym and it's draining you mentally, that might not
Yeah.
work for you.
Yeah, because you're gonna get your body looking good, but then you emotionally you're a wreck,
Yeah, some people are
stressed out.
really
And
not a good trigger
I'm
for that.
glad you said that, man, because I follow The Rock on Instagram. I'm like, this dude lives in the gym, man. It's killing me here. and,
Yeah, some people
and I
can't.
see that and like, and that doesn't have to be my measure of fitness as a 46-year-old man running a business and doing some other things. He's motivated obviously by he gets a lot of money for that body in movie roles, and so that there's a different level of motivation that, hey man, I just want to be able to run around with my grandkids. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
I don't really need all of that level of intensity.
And
You
that's
said,
realistic, right?
yeah,
If you
right.
just want to he has a whole different goal. What's his realistic goal? He wants to probably get big muscles. He get paid a lot of money for that. Your realistic lifestyle is you want to run with your grandkids. Do you have to be intense in the gym like The Rock to do that? No.
No, not at all. Not at
We
all.
beat
Love it.
ourselves
Love it.
up trying to follow those people.
Love it. Talk to me real quick. You said you sustained an injury. Now, I love this holistic approach because, I have, often been like, I have a little bit of a shoulder pain, and my wife's like, "What, you still trying to work out because you have a shoulder pain?" Because I'm afraid that if I take time off, I'm going to balloon out of this world. But if I understand what you're saying is because you have some other mechanisms in place to help you health wise, you weren't able to be as active in the gym as you normally were because of an injury, but those other components kind of help. Talk about two things: the other components that are really important for a holistic health approach, but also the mental fortitude required to stay in that lane, even if you sustain something like an injury like you did.
Okay, so I'm gonna go straight to the mental part because that is the other component for sure.
Mm.
Is really shaping my mind. Like I have this real big thing on detachment, right? I for instance, my life really surrounded around the gym. I go to the gym, I train clients, I make money that way, at that time. Um, and it was just like, what is this? Like I tore my ACL, my meniscus. That is like a athlete or a trainer's worst nightmare in a sense, right?
Mm.
But I had to quickly, not to say I didn't have a challenging time, but I had to quickly start shaping the realistic, right, reality
Mm.
of where I was at that moment. Did I have to completely stop? No, me and my clients shifted and went virtually. I've been training them for a long time. They know what to particularly do. I don't have to always demonstrate. Was it challenging for a few things because I might need to demonstrate? Possibly, but we figured it out. So like we were way prepared before this COVID thing hit because we already I had my COVID in 2019, like my pandemic, I guess. Not my COVID. I'm not going to bring that into reality. But so it was definitely that was the first thing is literally I swear to you not like when I fell and I'm on the floor in the train station, I'm like, okay, what is this reality right here? What's about to
Mm.
shape and what is the messages that God is telling me? Because we think life is over or these horrible things that can come into our mind. But the first thing is, we go through certain circumstances for a reason. So the other components that you spoke on to me being like, holistically healthy on a whole outside is more of my mindset for sure.
Mm.
Just because I couldn't walk, does that mean I had to stop listening? I had to stop saying my prayers, saying my affirmations, listening to, motivating things that will help me in that time, especially there, So that was one of the first things. And then, of course, because I wasn't as active, I had to really stay on top of my eating.
Mm.
Literally your diet is like I feel like it's like 90%, but I like to stick to that 80-20 rule.
Mhm.
So, I was really on top of like, keeping up with my water. I'm not as active, making sure I'm having all of my nutrients, my vitamins, minerals, stuff like that I need. I was very on top on like consistently having like I always start and have like a green juice, things like that.
Mhm.
So I got really on top of that to help where, like I physically couldn't walk. So I was like, okay, I can't blow, because you can totally blow up. An injury is it's more of a mental injury in a sense, and you got to work hard at that, right? Because,
Right.
and I totally was able to see why athletes get very depressed. Did I still go through a sense of depression? Absolutely, I did.
Mhm.
But I was able to pull myself through it a little faster. I
Right.
might have got depressed, but I didn't unpack my bags and stay there, if that makes sense.
Yes. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Listen, on the other side of this break, Lauren is going to talk to you guys about one of the most neglected areas of your health. Nobody is talking about this, and this thing is so crucial to your overall health that in the professional they often call it a second brain, and nobody talks about this, but Lauren is going to break down what it is, how it impacts and affects your life, and then she's going to give you some practical tips on how to get healthy in this area and how that's going to help you in all these other areas. So make sure y'all smash that share button, man, because your friends don't want to miss this. This is going to be amazing. So on the other side of this break, we're going to let you in on that little secret. Keep it locked right here.
What's up, St. Louis? Listen, I see you've been checking out some of my videos on how to build generational wealth. Here's the real key. If you're going to build wealth in America, you must find one or two ways to get paid for one or two things that you love to do, and then build systems around those things so that you don't become a slave to your business, but you then start earning true passive income. Listen, I've got a book and online course called the Monetize My Life Influencer Bundle. The book will teach you how to identify your gifts, talents, and special abilities and turn those things into income by packaging and presenting them to the marketplace. The course will teach you how to use social media and build systems just like this video around your products and services so that you can earn that passive income. All you got to do is click the link around this video and get yourself the Monetize My Life Influencer Bundle today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, and we are listening to and learning from Lauren Wells, holistic health and fitness coach, who brings a realistic approach to not only change your physique, but also change your habits and your mindset that will allow you to sustain those changes long term. Lauren, before we went to break, I was teasing that you're going to talk to us about one of the most underrated, neglected areas of health and wellness, and that is gut health. Talk about why that's so important that you focus on your gut health.
Okay, so to keep it so simple, because this could be a whole lecture, especially with me being such a geek, everybody calls me like the gut health bestie. The quickest thing I can say, 70 to 80% of our immune system and our bodily function lives in our gut, right? So what does that tell you? A large percentage of your health lies into your gut. So if you want to feel good, right? Serotonin, 80% of serotonin, 90%, I believe, 80 to 90 of serotonin, which is that happy hormone for you to feel good, or you're going through depression. Remember, I talked about that bouts of depression that I've particularly went through. It lives in your gut. So if you want to, like the overall, if you want to feel good, you want your body to function, you want your immune system to be strong, especially in this time with the pandemic, with the COVID going on and the virus and anything, of that capacity, you want to focus on gut health. You want to focus on what are you putting in your body. Everything we put in our body, from what we drink and eat, is all data, right? And all of those things sends messages to your gut that starts to communicate to your brain. So if you're having brain fog, if you're feeling really drained, tired, fatigued, having gas, bloating, just to mention a few of those things, I would totally tell you to start looking on gut health, and of course of what you're eating, but it's always like shifts in stages. And I have a lot of people who I work with, because I also have like a nutrition and lifestyle component where I help people to cleanse and detox and work on their gut. They eat healthy. Some of them are vegans, and they're still having these particular issues. The two things that
Mm.
people do struggle with the most is sleeping and digestive issues. They're not going to the bathroom enough. They may have gas and bloating. And these are people who, are healthy. I've trained, uh, professional dancers and performers and singers, and they got these aesthetic beautiful bodies. Like I said, it's easy to sit there and make you look good on the outside, but they're having gut health issues and other I mostly work with women, so they have like other female reproductive issues, stuff like that. And I always center down and start with the gut. Like right now I'm in school for Ayurvedic medicine. I really believe in a lot of indigenous practice, but I came from learning from the Western philosophy when I was studying to be a nurse, and
Mhm.
when I was like in pharmacy. So those things are aspect, but like literally, like you said, one of the most overlooked things is the gut, because we focus on just the symptoms.
Right.
So that's like in a nutshell where I tell people, if you want to start feeling better or you're having any kind of particular issue, start focusing on the gut, cleaning up what you eat, detox if you never detoxed before.
Right. Right. And you said you studied being a nurse that came with the pharmaceuticals and the traditional, health system that we have in this country, if you even want to call it a health system, right? But was there a time that it was difficult for you to grasp some of the holistic approaches after being trained in some of the more pharmaceutical approaches? Where did the whole holistic journey actually begin? Where you say, you know what, it's difficult to say that like some of this stuff is just wrong. Some of this stuff is actually causing more harm than good. And I know a lot of people in the health space, they struggle with, even if they personally understand and believe certain things, they struggle with declaring it publicly because of, the pharmaceutical industry is huge,
Yeah.
and you don't want to say the wrong thing, and you don't want to piss the wrong people off in that area. So was there a transition for you, and when did that take place, and how did you get to this whole holistic thing is the way that I'm going to go with my clients?
Yeah, and you're right. It's been so smothered in a sense, and you can be careful to say the wrong thing. So I'm always very careful about what I share out. But I would say, yes, learning these things, especially from young. Like I said, I went to vocational high school, so I started learning these things at like 14.
Mhm.
So you would think it's in a sense of like brainwashing, right? But to be honest, that wasn't really the harder part. It was more of the lifestyle that I grew up with,
Mhm.
within, especially within the Black family, eating pork and eating a lot of the scraps of things that was like an old slave mentality when they didn't have a choice to eat
Mhm.
those particular things, because they were given the scraps, and that we're still eating them as a choice today. So we
Right.
went from, like that's where the brainwashing concept, came into that aspect on my lifestyle and the way I started to eat. Because honestly, with nursing and especially being in pharmacy, that's more of like when the symptoms come up, you get what I'm saying, and then you're prescribed something to
Mhm.
to do that. You get what I'm saying? But there's a gap. Something had to happen from that start until you started to have these symptoms where medication may be coming in place, right? So it
Right.
was way before starting to learn nursing and the pharmaceutical and the whole Western philosophy of things, because they really focus on symptoms and not the root. And me, just as my mind thinks, I think from the root. What is the solution? What is the deep root? I love talking about deep root and what we got to do to dig up, right? And
Mhm.
when I started working on myself and my mindset, I had to finally give it up because I did not want to give up my food. Let me tell you, I eat healthy, but everybody knows Lauren is greedy. I love my food, and things like that. I just had to learn some shifts and swaps. So immediately, no, it wasn't like I went from, eating fast food, junk food, microwavable, because that's what I grew up on. Everything quick, fast, hot pockets, oodles, noodles, like all those kind of things. Like I literally was still eating like how I was in a dorm room with just a microwave, even as an adult, right?
Right.
So it had to finally, when I started to want to persevere in life as a whole, as a businesswoman, and wanted to expand, but I don't have energy. I feel fatigued. I'm having, particular health issues. I was diagnosed with 2 autoimmune disease. And as a trainer, standing on my feet all the time, and I'll have flare-ups, that was not fun. So it was time for me to stop. A lot of us were just running away from it, and this is what I do. So this is why I can really speak into it. Like I said, I didn't grow up like this. So when it comes to the point that the doctor stares in your face and they're telling you you have a lifelong disease and here's a medication that you have to take for life, and it's going to affect your children. The more you have children, it's going to cause, I'm like a carrier of lupus, and all that starts to really do something. And it's either at that moment I've already had the signs and I started making some shifts, but I was like, oh, it's real. Like this is where the realistic comes in, right?
It just got real.
Yeah, I was like, it just got real, because I feel like every day when we're when we make the wrong choices and we eat, it's like swiping a credit card. At one point, you're going to have to pay for it, right? It don't just go away. It's going to be on that bill. Your gut is like Experian, Equifax. They're the credit, credit bureaus. You get what I'm saying? It's going to come back and show. And that come back and show could be a diagnosis. That come back and show don't always have to be a diagnosis. It could be that fatigue. You feeling tired. You can't play with your children. You can't really thrive in your business. So for me, when I wanted to really thrive, that was my brand, right? Is about thriving, expanding, growing, everything about me. My nickname is Elsie Thriver. Like, how can I be that if I'm not embodying that? If I haven't totally immersed myself into that. So it's really important. Hold on. Sorry about that. So it's really important when you get what I'm saying, like if I know that these are the things I really want to do and be, how can I not live that if I'm not being that? So it was time for me to get real with myself at a point to start really adapting that.
Gotcha.
And it was important to do that.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about your journey as an entrepreneur as well, because a lot of people don't understand that the top performers in business and career and other areas of life are serious about their health, right? And that really gives them a competitive advantage. And people don't understand how, me getting up at 5 a.m, even though I try to talk myself out of it every morning, I still got to go downstairs and I got to get me a workout in. That's going to lead to my habit of drinking a liter of water before 7 a.m., right? Those types of things people don't understand. So talk about that from an entrepreneurial standpoint and help some of our entrepreneurs understand the advantages that you can gain from taking your health seriously.
Yeah. So like, this is where the being realistic, right? What does that mean for you? Really identify. How do you want to thrive? How do you want to be in life, in your business, especially entrepreneurs? People think when you become an entrepreneur and a business owner, it's all about the business and the task of the business, when all actuality is you becoming that person that's going to be this millionaire or whatever. So I would really speak as far as the entrepreneurs for sure is really get real, be realistic of what that means for you. Now, everybody waking up at 5 a.m. and working out may not be, or it might be a gradual shift. Because like, Lord knows I was not a morning person, and Lord knows you could not pay me to drink anybody's greens back in the day. I had to take my steps. but I did create the vision on who I wanted to become, how I wanted to feel. In the beginning, that was challenging. I didn't know what that even, if I never lived it, I used to say, if that wasn't something I knew or lived, how can I do that? How can I even think of what that is? But I more so just wanted to think on the capacity of what I wanted to feel like, what would be nice for me, and for me at that time, it was just looking at the actual goals, like, okay, well, if I know I want to make money, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't know what this whole entrepreneur world looked like. I didn't have someone that I could look up to that was in my field in a sense at first, Um, so I started really studying successful people. What do they do? You literally, you can't run away from it. You hear people say the same thing. Wake up early, and it depends on where your time starts. I know people who are entertainers, theirs at night, but you do need to get up a little bit earlier before you have to be who you need to be in your world, right?
Mhm.
If you're a mom, I'm pretty sure you can't wake up with the kids or you're going to be dragging through your day. You get what I'm saying? Like, you need to get up a little bit early. You got to get a jump start so you can ease into your day of what your reality looks like.
Mhm.
So, all those capacities is really about sitting down and getting it out your head. I really believe, because I used to just think it in my head and then it got mixed up in all my other thoughts. So it's like, get it on paper. If it's not written down, there's like studies on that. It's like, it's 40 people who write it down. I believe there's like a 42% like actuality of these things particularly happen and seeing it into fruition for people who wrote it down.
Wow.
So I think it's a matter of time for people to really get real on who you want to be, how you want to feel, and the outcomes of what you want to particularly do with that. And what areas can you start doing now? Not the big steps, just like a whole staircase. There's no way you could get from the bottom and jump and go to the top. What
Mhm.
are the one actual little steps that you could do? And if you don't know how to do it yourself, like I didn't, get a mentor, get someone to help you in these particular areas. Cortez is a financial health and mentor. Get with
Right.
him. If you need help in your health and wellness, I can help you. Well, for the lady, sorry, man. But, like I can help with that. So it is times where you may need to lean on people for support and help in those areas until like you have a grasp.
Gotcha. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, if you guys are getting value from Lauren, do me a favor, drop an LC in the comments. I know you got to run, Lauren, but do me one more favor before we let you get out of here. Nutrition wise or diet wise, give me one thing that if I commit to for the next year will have a radical transformation in my life. And then fitness wise, if you had to give me one exercise that could, if I just committed to this one exercise, it could transform or scope my body in a special way. What would those two things be?
So you said nutrition. What is like, the one
Yeah,
thing to do
one
on
thing that
fitness?
I can do in my diet, that if I committed to it, I could see the benefits long term. And fitness wise, if there was one activity that I could do if I commit to it that could transform my fitness.
Okay, so I'm going to speak on one of the most challenges, even for people who are health coaches. Drink water, and it isn't just about like water. You need electrolytes, getting those minerals back in, because you could drink a lot of water but still be technically dehydrated. So electrolyte water, putting some lemon and salt in your water. I even recommend or prescribe to my clients like we have like an ionic element that we do that has a lot of minerals, sea moss, stuff like that. So
Mhm.
getting adequate amount, like hydrating, is key, super important, on top of just getting more vegetables, of course.
Right.
But I think that is like one of the missed things that people just quickly bypass, is being fully hydrated and getting the electrolytes. And as far as exercise, it's hard for me to just say one,
Mhm.
but just movement as a whole, like walking, stretching. If you can, get some jumping jacks in or ride a bike,
Mhm.
those are like the base that I can say.
Gotcha. I love it. I love it. Well, I know that you have some special things you want to offer to the Cortez Hustle Show audience. So talk about what you have to offer and how people can get in touch with you.
Okay, awesome. So, we've talked about gut health and it's super important, and I'm not going to just tell you about it, scare you a little bit, and then walk off the scene. So, I have a program called 30-Day Mind Body Healing. where I focus on gut health. We do a lot on focusing with meditation, speaking affirmations over to your life and your health and well-being. And for everybody here, I have a $105 discount code to be able to help and assist you with that. If that's something that you particularly want, you totally can reach out to me, lcfitsyou.com, where I have more information. You can I also have a free support group for ladies called Holistic Lifestyle Group, and that will soon be shifting. We are moving towards an app actually in the next coming weeks. So those are all things that will help and support in all capacity, from, nutrition and lifestyle support, a community where you could be able to feel, with the community, because doing this by yourself is not easy. And I also have a free download guide with 9 simple holistic lifestyle tips to be able to help you to manage belly fat. Like, even if it's just you want to tap in, be a little nosy, get some information and walk away, and we don't have to talk. Some people, you got to get used to people or whatever. You could totally go to my website and get access to that.
lcfitsyou.com. Also, lcfitsyou on Instagram. Make sure you guys follow this genius in the fitness space with all her experience, and she's definitely going to help you take your whole self to the next level, right? I want to say take your fitness to the next level, but no, she's going to help you take your whole self to the next level. So, Lauren, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I got a tremendous amount of value. I'm sure my listeners have also. And here's what I'm going to do. If you share the show and come back and comment that you shared it, then I'm going to put you into a drawing for a free vacation voucher. And I'm going to show you guys a list of the cities that we're going to send you to if you share the show and if you happen to get your name pulled. So I do this for all of my shows throughout the week. On Friday, we put everybody's name in a hat. We're going to draw some names tonight. So you guys make sure you stay locked into the page, but you got to share. And guess what? If I pull your name, I'm going to your page to see if you shared the show. So I will verify. So make sure you hit that share button, share. And then on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about skyrocketing your life with a daily routine. Lauren, again, thanks so much for gracing us with your presence this morning and sharing all your knowledge. Everybody else, make sure that you check a look at these destinations that you could win if you share the show. Keep it locked.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being on. Thank you, Cortez.
Appreciate it. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. Man, are you fired up as I'm fired up? I really got some great nuggets from Lauren. That was an amazing display of information on how to take a holistic approach to your overall health and some of the benefits. Man, as an entrepreneur, I can't tell you how good I feel after my morning workouts, after I get my water in, and I do my meditations, I do my readings on my scriptures, and all of the things that I do collectively to make sure that I am taking care of myself. It really does give me a competitive advantage over some of the people who are not taking a look at their health. And, that's just something that you absolutely have to do. Now, as promised, I'm going to give you some tips on a morning routine that you could implement if you choose to, and how you can, and how it will benefit you as well. So let me pull up my handy article. So skyrocket your success with a motivating morning routine. Have you ever noticed if you have a good Monday, the rest of your week seems to work out pretty well, regardless of whatever else happens? It's also true that getting your day off to a good start practically guarantees you'll have a good day. A good morning routine takes a little effort to develop, but it pays off handsomely. A morning routine can give you the great start every day like clockwork. So what are some things that you could do to incorporate into a morning routine? Let me give you, let's say 5 or 6 tips, right? Number one, keep these things in mind when creating your morning routine. Get up early. Now, early doesn't mean 4:30 in the morning. Most people lie in bed until the last possible second. When they do get up, there's only enough time to get ready and barely make it to work on time. So getting up early doesn't mean you have to get up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. It just means if you're normally getting up at 7 so that you can be at work at 8, then maybe getting up at 6:45 can make a huge difference, right? You'll have to experiment personally with the proper time to get up, but you should be able to get up and get through your routine with time to spare, right? They say if you are trying to be on time, you're going to be late. If you're trying to be early, you're going to be on time. So think about that when you're developing your morning routine. Tip number 2, drink a drink of water should be the number one thing on your list. Now, this is something that was weird for me because I don't know if you've ever drank water in the morning, but it is probably the most nasty thing you could taste first thing in the morning, right? But if you think about it, after 7+ hours without any fluids, your body is craving water. Think about that. You just went to sleep for 6, 7, 8 hours, however long you slept, you haven't had any fluids going into your body. Drink a big glass of water each morning and see how much better you feel. I start making sure I get a full liter of water in me before 7 a.m. every morning, and it has made all the difference in the world. Tip number 3, get some exercise in before work. Yet another reason that you might want to get up a little bit earlier, whether it's 20 minutes on the treadmill, a walk around the block, or some calisthenics, do something to get your blood moving first thing in the morning. It might be 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 jumping jacks, and 10 squat jumps, right? I guarantee you, if you do no exercise whatsoever, if you did 10, 10, 10, 10, that will get your blood flowing like nobody's business. And then as you continue to do that every morning, you're going to see that at some point, 10 is not going to be enough. You have to do a little bit more, but get some exercise in before work. This will keep you from being groggy at work. You'll likely lose a little weight and you will feel great, my friend. Tip number 4, schedule a little quiet time. It's great to have a few minutes to meditate, go over your goals, or just relax. This time also eliminates the rushed feeling most people have every morning. You might want to use this time to read or work on a crossword puzzle or whatever your fancy is. Man, it's a game changer. For me, it's motivation material in the morning. I have my self-confidence formula that I read every day, but I also have it recorded on my phone and I listen to it every day as well. That's kind of one of my things to start my day. I listen to it as I'm getting prepared for my workout. So these things, you can think about incorporating some of this stuff into a daily routine. Number 5, have a good breakfast. Now, I'll be honest with y'all. This is where my intermittent fasting comes in. I normally don't eat a meal until afternoon, right? However, start the day out right with a healthy meal. Momentum holds true here too. If you start the day by eating well, you're more likely to make healthy food choices throughout the rest of the day. That's pretty slick. Now, if you are a breakfast eater, right, and you start shifting to a healthy breakfast in the morning, especially if you start a little workout in the morning, I guarantee you it's going to be a little bit more difficult to have junk food for lunch, right? Because you're going to be thinking to yourself, man, I had a great workout this morning. I had a great breakfast this morning. Why would I want to mess that up with some junk? Many health experts promote the idea that a good breakfast is the key to getting yourself healthier and in better shape. Number six, go over your schedule for the day, right? Think about what has to be done. This will give you a good mental picture of what your day will look like. And for me, when you understand how to start with the end in mind, that creates motivation for you, right? It actually pulls you through the day, especially on those days where it's just you don't feel up to doing a whole lot of anything. Do you have any meetings? Are there any clients coming into the office? Are there any employee issues that need to be handled? Instead of showing up at work trying to figure out what's going on, go into work with a good handle on things. Every morning at 5 a.m., Google sends me my calendar so I can see what's going on in my calendar every morning. So that might be something that you want to do. If you're putting all your appointments on your calendar, then go into your calendar. There's a link that says notification, and you can have Google notify you every morning at a particular time and give you a list of your calendar events for the day. That to me has been real helpful. So at a glance, I can see all of my appointments, right? Number 7, make it a habit. It takes about 30 days to form a new habit. Be diligent for the next 30 days, including weekends. This is where a lot of people mess up. This is where I have messed up in the past. Trying to get up earlier. I would get up early 5 days a week, and then on the weekends, I veg out and I sleep in. No, for your first 30 days, you got to include those weekends, right? Studies have shown habits practiced daily are easier to form than habits that are on a variable schedule. Practice the same morning routine every day for 30 days and see what happens, right? Developing a morning routine can really change your life. Your morning routine should be unique to you, right? Now, these are just tips, right? But you have to craft the morning routine that's going to have you the best version of yourself to increase your success. For me, my workout in the morning is 45 to 50 minutes. For you, 10 minutes of a workout might be enough to get your juices flowing because that's you, right? We have different goals. So you're developing your morning routine as unique as your fingerprints are. With a little experimentation, you'll quickly discover the best morning routine for you. You might think this seems like a lot to do each morning. It might be more than you're used to doing, but that doesn't mean it's too much, especially when it becomes part of the routine. It's like, man, I get up, I do my meditation, I get my exercise in. I then do my reading for the morning, and I'm usually done by 6:15. That gives me 45 minutes to prepare for my show, right? So just think about, just consider what a morning routine could look like for you. There is no rule that states you must stay up as late as possible to get the minimum amount of required sleep and barely make it to work on time. You're free to shift a couple hours from the evening to the morning, right? By the end of the day, you're beat anyway. Most people accomplish very little after 9 p.m. Go to bed early so you can get up early. You'll get a great jump on the day before anyone else even gets out of bed. That's what motivates me to get up, man, because I'm thinking everybody ain't getting up this early, right? And then what motivates me, because even though I literally try to talk myself out of working out every day. Literally every day I try to talk myself out of working out. But what I say is, nobody else is working out this early, Cortez. Go ahead and get it done, get it over with, and boom. So I literally talk myself back. I have to stand up to myself, right? The self that's trying to talk myself out of working out, I have to stand up to myself and go ahead and get it done. Now, to be quite frank, do I fall short? Have I missed a day or two? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, you've got to think about your morning routine and how you can skyrocket your success by applying these principles, by doing something every day. I read somewhere, or I heard someone talk about the reason that the military is so strict about having the soldiers make up their bed in the morning. You know why they're so strict on that? You know why that's so important? Because they've already accomplished something before they get started. They've already exercised some discipline before their day even gets started. They already know that they're going to be held accountable for not only making up their bed, but making it up in a particular manner with specific specifications, right? Think about getting your day started with some of those kinds of things. That's what a good morning routine can do for you. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the need of a second, third, or fourth stream of income and you want to partner with yours truly, I literally teach people how to build wealth, how to make money by sharing financial tips and strategies online with my financial education franchise. We're also just days away from the launch of Personal Branding 101. It's a project that's going to be designed for solopreneurs, network marketers, small business owners, how to leverage a personal brand to grow your business, right? That's going to be dope. That's coming really, really, really soon. I'm excited about that. Also, Hustle and Love, guys, the new couple entrepreneur podcast with my wife and I. We're looking for couples who are in the game together as business partners and, of course, have a solid relationship and are doing good things, big things in the community. If you know any couples like that, do me a favor, tag them in this video, share this video with them, inbox me their contact information so that my team can reach out. And we're starting to record those interviews over the next couple weeks. And don't forget the power of a morning routine, people. Appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Integrity Wealth Solutions hopped on. Looks like Giovanni is in the building as well. Says drink a gallon of water a day is what he's trying to get accomplished every single day. So until next time, remember, like the page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, check out all the videos in the series that we do on all of these beautiful topics, man. Until next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now, as I always say, hustle up.